Yes, good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear my voice and see my screen clearly. Today is 23rd of March. So we're going to start analysis. We today want to look at WTI. This is the same as oil. We want to look at exactly what we expect to be happening on this chart. So if you look at this chart, basically you can see that somehow we are in an active uptrend. The price is currently above the 3 moving averages. So the lines which you're seeing on my screen, those are not just moving averages, they're the alligator indicator. So I have them there just for a guide, just to tell me exactly where the trend is. I don't use them, so as such, they only tell me where if you're upwards or if the price is downwards or if the price is currently consolidating. So the other indicator which I could use in place of that, I could use the normal moving averages, 30 period moving average, or I could use MACD. If the bars of MACD are above 200, above 0, the level 0, then that means we are in an active uptrend. And if the bars of MACD are below 0, then that means we are in an active downtrend. So in this case, I've used only the alligator indicator. It still means the same thing. Believe me from experience that every time you have the columns of MACD above 0, just know that the other indicators also possibly will be showing you the same thing, which means if the trend is upward on one indicator, it's likely that also on the other indicators the same thing is happening. So let's start off. I want to draw my levels on this just that you see exactly. So first thing first, we do have a level here. This is a very good resistance level from the past. It was used around July to August 2020. We had a resistance there. We had this resistance, and the price opened somewhere here. It went as high as this point, which means it closed above it. Then it tried to pull back, but then it couldn't reach 43.57. So if somebody was monitoring this chart after this breakout, then this could have been the correct place to look for a buy from. If you are looking at this chart previously, then this level here, this could have been the ideal place where you could have taken a buy from. If you didn't buy it there, then you're supposed to be waiting for signs that somehow we are still continuing to the upper. So you're supposed to be looking for pin bars, engulfing candles, all that which is pointing upwards. So if you find a candle which is pointing upwards, you look at it, you take the trade. If you have a pin bar pointing upwards, you take the trade. If you have maybe an engulfing candle pointing upwards, you take the trades. So there's another level here. There's another level here. This is a very good support. We have a support. We had a support. This was last month in February. We had a support earlier this month. Then we had a support just some few days ago. So if the price can come back up to this point, 59.19, then this will give us the ideal place where we want to look for a buy from. So we want to check again we want to check now another chart. Let's check another chart. We'll now move to this chart, SP 500. So as I say, normally this chart is bullish. I don't see any reason why I should be selling this chart whatsoever. So just a second. So we do have on this so I'm saying that we're supposed to be looking for buy positions only. First, we do have a trend line that runs from this point all the way to the top. So this is what we had previously. We mentioned that this was support here. We had a support there. We had a support. We had a support. So as long as the price is held beyond above this trend line, this remains to be a good place to look for a buy from. So we are not going to sell it simply because the price is above this trend line. The price is above this trend line, and also we do have a support here, which as long as the price is held above, then this is going to be a good place to buy from. So technically we want to see a pullback at least up to some level here. If the price can get back to 37, 64.3, 37, 36.5, then this will be a good place where we want to look for a buy from. So the idea will be to watch for price keenly as it retraces back. If it goes beyond this trend line, expect it to come back up to this point, which will give us a good place where we want to look for a buy from. So our next symbol is gold. Gold has been bearish for some times now. We've seen price sell off. Some few days ago it was pulling back to the upper side. We've not seen a proper pullback. We've not seen price pull back as we expected, but we still do expect some momentum upwards. So we have a trend line here. We have another trend line here. So it's like we have a resistance there, we have a resistance, we have a support here, we have a support, we have a support, and we expect that if the price can come back up to this point, to this trend line, the one at the very top, then this will be a good place where we want to look for a sell from. So technically we'd be waiting for price here. If the price comes back nicely up to this point, then this will be an ideal place where we want to look for a sell from. So just watch for price around this point, watch for price around this level here. Expect price to get back to this point. If it comes back nicely up to this point, then this should give us the ideal place to look for a sell from. So on its way to the upper side, we do have some levels where the price may find problems crossing beyond. We have this is the first level. So if the price comes back up to around 1777.72, expect some reaction from around that point. Also expect another sort of reaction from this point. So these are some of the places where if the price can get to, then we do expect reactions from around this point here. We expect another reaction from this point, and then we expect another reaction from this point here. So these are the places, some of the few places where if the price can come back up to, then we will be looking for a sell position. So our next chart is GBP USD, the British pound dollar. So the British pound dollar, we are consolidating. There is no clear position. We've seen price after this massive move to the upper side. There's a pullback, and currently, as we're speaking, the price is within a range. The price is within a very good range. We are not going beyond 1.3994, and we're not going below 1.3806. So while we continue to see sustenance within this range, we are waiting for a sell from the top, and we are waiting for a buy from the bottom. We are waiting for a sell from the top and then a buy from the bottom. But in case the price goes and closes beyond 1.3994, then that will mean we are now continuing upwards, at least up to this point, 1.4144. And in case the price breaks below 1.3806, then that will mean we are continuing to the lower side, at least up to around 1.3638. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion on this chart. I want us to look at the next symbol, which is Euro USD. The same thing which is happening on the USD is the same thing which is happening on Euro USD. The price is consolidating. First, these are the places where the price consolidated before. We have this, and then we have this one, and then we have this, then we have this here, and then we do have this, Yeah, then we have this. We also have some range where the price is now, this one, and then we have another. So technically speaking, we are within a contracting wedge formation. The price is within some shape. What we want to happen now is either the price should bounce off from this point, or we should bounce off from the lower one. If it bounces off from the top, then this will be a good place to sell it from. If the price bounces off from the bottom, then this will be a good place to look for a buy from. If the price should break beyond any of these lines, then that will mean we are continuing in that direction. So should the price go above this point, the upper trend line, we do expect a move at least up to this point, where if the price goes above, then our next level is this. So if the price breaks below, then the next immediate place where the price may struggle around is around 1.1845, and then the next one is this one. So technically, those are the levels we are at. Those are the levels of interest as we're speaking now. We want to see what happens if the price hits any of those levels. Then those are going to give us the ideal places where we want to look for a trade from. So our next symbol, the next chart which I'd like us to look at, is USD Jpy. So this chart also, there's some consolidations. Since the beginning of the month, we've seen price continue up, but then as we are speaking now, you can see that we are struggling somehow. We are struggling within some range. Here we are struggling within some range. The price is not going above the upper trend line. At the same time, the price is not going below the lower trend. So we just want to see what happens. We just want to see what happens if the price breaks below the lower trend line. That will mean we are continuing to the lower side. And if the price breaks above the upper trend line, then that will mean we are continuing to the upper side. So as it is now, we are basically focusing on reversals. We want to see a reversal from the top so that we pick a sell position. We want to see a reversal from the bottom so that we pick a buy position. So thank you very much. This should be the end of today's session. We'll meet again tomorrow at the same time. So thank you. See you.